let's just say you go up when we went to the Italian restaurant, he brings you the actual, he brings you the actual, the credit card, machine to basically put your card in and pay. And then he's going to turn it towards you and goes, hey, do you want to pay in real or do you want to pay in US dollars? Always choose real. You want your bank to do the conversion from real to USD, not the restaurant. Because if you choose USD, you don't, I mean, and I'm not sure if this is true or not, but it felt like I know I paid more selecting USD. The restaurant is doing the conversion on their actual ATM machine, on their ATM, on their actual credit card machine, as opposed to letting your bank do the conversion. So never choose USD when they ask you to, and this goes for Colombia, this goes for pretty much anywhere in the world. Always choose the local currency because that will allow your bank to do the trans. So that way, if the meal is 200 reais, USAA, my bank will do the, conversion for me, and I'll get the best rate through my bank as opposed to the restaurant doing the conversion. I'll get 6 to 1 through my bank, or as opposed to getting like 5 to 1 probably on this at this restaurant here. So always choose the local currency, real, Colombian pesos, wherever you're at, the Thai baht, the Filipino peso. Always choose a local currency and let your bank do the conversion for you. All right. All right. But yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much that's a good a good summary of currency exchange for Rio Brazil. I think we really kind of covered that. That's a pretty good wrap up of how, as far as your reais to USD. Always decline at the ATM the conversion for you. Always pay in real so that way your bank does the conversion. If you can remember some of those small tips, you will be good to go. The weather in Brazil. The weather in Brazil, it is warm. It is pretty much, so remember, Rio is below the equator, so the seasons are opposite. So right now in Rio, Brazil, it's actually summertime. I think it was 80 to 90 degrees the entire time I was down. I mean, the weather was just lovely down there. Obviously, it's wintertime. It's colder up here in Florida, up in the States, above the equator. And it's actually summertime in Rio. So I think summertime maybe is like November through like March or something along those lines. Is like, or somewhere plus or minus through February, March is like the summertime in Rio. So pretty much, as for the weather, being in the southern hemisphere, Rio's summer runs from December to March. Expect warm and humid conditions, perfect for beach outings, things like that. Make sure you pack light clothing. Think shorts, t-shirts, and plenty of swimwear. Pretty much, I didn't see one pair of pants the entire week or so I was in Brazil. Not one, no one. Literally, Brazil is like a beach city. So literally, you go to the grocery store and people are wearing bathing suits. People are riding down the street on bikes in their, in swim trunks and tank tops and flip flops, things like that. No one's wearing any like really high end fashionable gear in Rio for the most part. It's pretty much like a beach city, you yeah. So I mean, just think, flip flops and tank tops. Don't wear, in my humble opinion, don't wear jewelry. I mean, definitely, there are some concerns with some crime in certain areas in Copacabana. Copacabana, in my humble opinion, you're 100% safe. Always got to be on guard, watch yourself, things like that. But they've got police everywhere in Copacabana. So they're all walking down Copacabana, as far as on the beach road, they're walking down Ipanema, things like that. So, you definitely really don't have a whole lot to worry about as long as don't wear flashy jewelry, things like that. Don't make yourself a target. Try to dress like the locals and blend in, things like that, and you'll be just fine. All right. All right. So let's talk about accommodations now. Let's talk about hotels and Airbnbs. And I kind of got a few of my favorites in general. So, in fact, I'm gonna go ahead and share screen here. Let's go ahead and share screen one more time. And if you take a look here, um, at the map here, you're going to see, this is pretty much, a map of, pretty much the largest kind of tourist area, right? This is so right along here, this is going to be Copacabana Beach right here, right? And then you're going to see you have Copacabana Beach. You're going to have like, this is where like the fort is, like a very popular tourist destination, and like kind of like a lot of restaurants, coffee shops, just like great views from the fort. And this is going to be Ipanema Beach. I pretty much spend all my time in Rio on Copacabana and Ipanema. So what I like to do is and there's kind of like a couple of locations here in Copacabana that I really like to focus on, right? So, as far as where I'd like to get an Airbnb or where I like to like stay at a hotel. On this trip, I actually did stay in another city, Barra de Juca. Then I would commute into Copacabana because I found a good Marriott property. I'm actually platinum elite with Marriott, going for my lifetime membership. So, I kind of use that status to kind of, get benefits while I'm at the hotel, different, better rooms, good rates, things like that, build upon my nights. Excuse me. So, um, what I would say is that, so first of all, I would say probably one of the best locations in Rio, Brazil is probably one of the best hotels is the Copacabana Palace, right? So I want to focus on three areas. One's going to be Copacabana Palace, which is probably about right here in the middle, right? The JW Marriott, which is like right here around this area. And what happens is that let's say you've got one of these five-star hotels like Copacabana Palace. What happens is a lot of restaurants, shops, all the best places to kind of pubs, different things like that, lounges. They're all going to be kind of centered around like kind of like the best hotels, the best Airbnbs. So if you got like a huge hotel where there's lots of money, the Airbnbs next to that hotels are probably going to be a lot more higher quality. It's going to be more safety. So I like to have my Airbnb, my hotels, and do all my shopping and go to restaurants right around like the major hotels. So basically, for example, here's the Copacabana Palace right here. I would go to the Copacabana Palace Hotel, which is right here. And I would basically say, okay, I'm going to go to the Copacabana Palace. This would be like where I would Uber into, or I try to get my Airbnb like right in this area right here. Because, for example, there's like a nice sushi restaurant around the corner. Copacabana Palace has restaurants right across the street from Copacabana Palace. That's where I actually had my New Year's table at the Palace, like kind of like beach bar, essentially, right here across the street on Copacabana Beach. So, you got the Churrascaria, the Brazilian steakhouse, the best Brazilian steakhouse in Rio. Churrascaria Palace is right here across the street from Copacabana Palace. So you've got, your nail salons, your hair salons, your massage, um, you know, masseuse, things like that, your barber shops, some of the best Italian restaurants, the best beach bars, all going to be centered around the Copacabana Palace.